Om Shanti, good morning. So today we'll read through the 18 steps of Brahma Baba. Number 1, action steps of Brahma Baba. Follow Father in these steps. Number 1, to enable everyone to move forward by giving them love and respect. Baba used to give everyone natural, most elevated, full and true love and respect. Baba used to fill the children with enthusiasm, calling them in endearing terms with a loving and sweet smile. Sweet children, long lost and now found children, jewels of the eyes, serviceable and spiritual children, beloved children, etc. Through this, everyone would feel that the Supreme Father, the ocean of love, through the human form of Brahmapada, was showering us with the spiritual love. That soul would experience great fortune and coolness, which was never experienced before. Baba would create love for God in each soul and enable them to sacrifice lust, anger, greed, ego, and attachment. Baba used to say, "Look, children, can you not renounce these things that give you sorrow even for that father? For birth after birth, you have been carrying out this business of vices. In this last birth, the Father has come to give you the inheritance of happiness and peace. So for this short time, for the sake of the Father, can you not renounce these things?" And that's such a lovely way, isn't it? Sometimes we can't do things for ourselves, but to be able to do them for someone that we love. We always say we love Father, we love Baba. So Baba's saying, can you not do it for me? Hearing those sweet versions from the Father, everyone would become engaged in making effort to become pure and making others pure. They would receive such love and sustenance from that Father that they would forget worldly happiness and become connected with the divine family. Yeah, once you've tasted real love, once you've tasted real happiness, once you've tasted real appreciation. When Baba says sweet children, a lot of people say sweet children. Some people can say with a certain intention, but when Baba uses these words, there's a power, there's a truth, and there's a originality of me filled. He's got that vision of me. He's not just saying it for this particular costume, this particular birth. He can see all my births, so that when he says sweet children, for me, it's for my entirety of my existence. So Baba's power and the vibration, of course, Shiv Baba, but then Brahma Baba carrying that power, or being the sort of being the in-between as well. So to allowing Shiv Baba to use that expression for me. So that was point 1. Second point, to follow every spiritual law and to encourage that in others, while telling the children the discipline of the life of the path of knowledge. Baba would say, children, there is benefit in the laws. So benefit fayda and laws kaida. Kaide mein fayda. When you stop observing the laws, the task is spoiled. This world is permanently observing laws. Therefore, never stop observing godly laws. Together with this, Baba would say, children, never take the law into your own hands. If you are not able to get on with someone, if there is conflict of sanskars, if you have any complaint about anyone, you mustn't create any opposition against that person. So that's not a nice thing to do, not a nice law. To raise your hand against that person or to try to punish that person in any way means to take the law into your own hands. If anyone's defect or fault is causing you sorrow, you must not relate it to anyone here and there and spoil the atmosphere. But what should we do if we have conflict? You must not relate it to anyone and spoil the atmosphere, but tell Shiv Baba through this one Baba, and Shiv Baba will himself caution that child. One rule that Baba used to tell us was that whatever place or whoever has been appointed for a task, everyone should give respect and cooperation to that person, even if the person appointed for that duty was younger or less experienced. Baba used to say, to give your full cooperation to the person who has been appointed is the divine code of conduct. And I think, and then it's up to me to, there are so many reasons, but many times if I just say Haji, I can see benefit in that. But, if I want to delve deeper into why I should do that, there are so many reasons I can do that. It creates harmony. It's not like we're doing extremely huge tasks that if you make something or the other, it's going to be a very huge difference. It's more about how I am what energy I'm creating while that task is getting done, because it's the habit. Many times it's a tiny little thing, even a small discussion like, should we make this for lunch or that for lunch? That can become such a heated debate, not because it's a huge deal, but just because I'm in the habit of negating and always fighting or always kind of debating, because I have to. That's probably the only way I feel powerful in my intellect, which is quite far away from the truth. Because the truth is, my intellect is already powerful. It is already divine. It doesn't need to prove my worth. I don't need to prove my existence of being the right one or making the right decisions or doing the correct thing. I think when I feel less than, that's when I feel I have to prove my point, and then my point, my argument, what I have proposed should be considered or given more weightage, so then I can feel okay. And I disguise that under the fact that, I mean it for the greater good, which I do. But if I look at just the micro level of what's happening here inside my soul, inside my thinking pattern, how am I evolving? How am I growing? Sometimes it is just an ego battle. Ego battle because I don't give myself enough self-respect. I don't give myself. So I have to, even in my complete self-respect, I have to be completely okay with making every mistake. I have to be okay with that. I should never, if I'm in complete self-respect, there is no such thing as feeling guilt for doing the wrong thing. Or I made a decision, the outcome wasn't very good. I should not have any guilt. I shouldn't have any fear. I shouldn't feel sadness. So when those things happen, I know I'm lacking in self-respect. So here Baba pointing out why we should be following spiritual laws. So yeah, I can delve deeper and deeper into all of those sort of things. But the baseline, it's about creating harmony. It's about being okay with who I am, my self-respect, and kind of going along with the harmony of letting things just be. Nothing wrong with saying Haji, and even if you don't agree, and even if even if you think that it's not the best option. A great practice that Baba showed us practically. And that's why we can talk about it so nicely, because Baba showed it to us and he showed the benefit. So to give your full cooperation to the person who has been appointed is the divine code of conduct. To see the weakness of that person and to oppose them, to sulk with them, or to separate yourself from that task is the devilish code of conduct. Baba says, if anyone has any weakness, it is your duty to fill that gap. To continue to speak about that one's weakness is not greatness. The greatness lies in removing that weakness. So Baba's gone further, accepting, being okay with what decision they made, even if it's not the best decision. And I can see there are going to be so many holes and there's going to be so many issues I can see. But once it's decided, as a soul for me to progress, I go along with it. I give it the best energy that I can. And if I can see their weakness, okay, they're not good at this. It is my duty, or it is a good practice for me to kind of fill in those gaps with love, not with resentment or saying, see, I told you so, but with love and cooperation for the whole good and for my good as well. And number 3, see each one's virtues and use them for service. Baba used to praise each child's virtues and fill that child with enthusiasm and happiness. And using that virtue for service, excuse me, and using that virtue for service would benefit that child. Baba never used to see any child's weaknesses. If someone knew how to sew, Baba would say, this is very serviceable for God's yagya. Baba used to like having clothes sewn by the hands of knowledgeable and pure children. Seeing an old and uneducated person, Baba would say, the elderly are able to do a lot of service because they are experienced. If they relate the things of God's knowledge to others from their own experience, then those listening to them would be touched by that. Seeing an uneducated person, Baba would say, child, so what if you're not educated? Simply to know alpha and beta is enough. And I think we can all vouch for that. The more we learn, the more we have to unlearn. So it's better that you're not educated. The more ideas I have, because the more I study, because I've put so much effort in and I've put so much energy in learning this particular thing, how can it be correct? So the more I have to learn, I'm like, thank God, for not being educated. And Baba could see Baba could see what that child needed at that time. They needed to be uplifted. So Baba just said, yeah, alpha and beta, that is more than enough. And I think that's what all of us need. It's the paper of 1 second, isn't it? I don't need to know anything else. It's just alpha at my moment. When the moment comes, whether it's traffic control, whether it's me checking myself, randomly throughout the day, whether it's the end of my night, that's when I'm practicing. How many seconds? Shouldn't even say seconds. It should just not even be a moment. It should be a instant. The moment I say, I am a soul, Shiv Baba, Supreme Soul. That should be it. That's all I need in my life. I don't need the fluff and all of that stuff that this world needs. This drama where I come and play and it's a play. I'm playing and I'm experiencing different things. That's not the original me. I'm exploring a lot of things, but original me, Baba, that's it. The original reality. So simply to know alpha and beta is enough. In the same way, Baba would see the children, the orphans, from those different places and different age groups with soul conscious vision and engage them in one or another task for people's benefit. Whatever virtue anyone had, Baba would use that virtue for the service of the yagya, through which that child would receive godly power to be able to transform their sanskars. And that's a real art. Many of us are in the world field or service field, and you would see there are, looking from the lens of a Kali point of view, there are people that are not that useful. When we see that sometimes they, they don't, what sort of skill set can they bring? But if you turn that vision, you see it from the point of view how Baba saw it, or how I can see it from a godly point of view, from a soul conscious vision, you can see so many virtues in every single soul. Even the soul that expresses a lot of vices and I feel like they're full of vices, even that soul. And Baba kept that vision for himself. He did not let any rubbish accumulate. He did not let his vision change from the soul conscious to body conscious. So for himself, and then of course, he set the path for all of us. Number 4, so Baba says, Baba showed to work hard for yourself and show others, even after surrendering himself with his body, mind, and wealth. And while having an old body, 60 plus, Baba still constantly engaged himself in godly service for the benefit of people. Service, service, and service. Baba only used to think of service and bringing happiness to human souls. Baba used to work for more than 18 hours throughout the day. He never used to think about his food, drink, and the way of living or his comfort of facilities. Baba would say, children, if I do not serve the yajna with my body, how would I get a body that is free from disease and pure? That's a lovely one to think about. Children, and I don't know to what extent all of us are able to surrender our bodies. Maybe it's the world, maybe it's the elements we, blame. We need air conditioners, we need lights, we need chairs, we need backrest, we need medicines, we need a lot of things. But I don't know. Baba, he had the vision of being completely, I need to surrender my whole body even. Right until the ripe old age of in his 90s, and here we are in our 20s and 30s, and what much younger, and we're using all these physical comforts, thinking they are essential, which I won't say they're not essential. I'm not making a comment for anyone, but my vision has changed from using and, kind of not exploiting my body, but sort of letting everything go and letting the discomforts be, not indulging in comforting the discomforts. Baba just let it, if I'm getting something from the elements, he just kind of saw the reason behind. If the elements are disturbing me, give them sakash, give them sakash, but use my body, keep using my body, not getting stuck in anything. So that was Baba's vision. How I do that is up to me. So children, you should have great enthusiasm to do service. Like the Dichi Rishi, you should also give your bones in the service of the yajna, for only then will your body be purified. However much you serve the yajna, you will receive that much power and your lifespan will increase. Baba gave all of his children this slogan: to do godly service is to make your fortune great. And 5, to make everyone light and happy. And we've had this really serious point of using my body for everything, working 18 hours, being very hard, and now follows it up with making everyone happy and light. Baba himself always used to remain happy and would always speak such things that no matter how peaceless someone was or how many problems he had, when we would see Baba's sweet smile, our sadness and worries would run away. Our mercury of happiness would rise high. No one ever saw any lines of worry or sadness on Baba's face. In the atmosphere around Baba, there were always waves of happiness and fragrance of happiness. And why does that happen? We know why that happens, isn't it? Why would there be, when you saw Baba and you became happy? How can that possibly happen? Because he was always happy here. He was always light. He was always emitting those vibrations, conscious. I mean, obviously, where you are, your aura spreads, but he consciously also made that area very powerful. So there was a fragrance of happiness. Baba always brought about happiness and enthusiasm in the children and would say, children, many obstacles and storms of Maya will come, but you must never be afraid or lose courage. You are victorious jewels. You have the tilak of victory applied on your foreheads. Number 6, beyond laziness and carelessness and a conqueror of sleep. There is a saying, a true yogi is the one who is a conqueror of sleep. There was no name or trace of laziness in Baba's life. Even though the body was old, Baba was engaged day and night in transforming the sanskars of human souls. We never saw any signs of tiredness in Baba's life. Baba, and that's a lovely one, Baba never postponed anything due to laziness. Whatever work came in front of Baba, Baba never did that with half a mind. He did not make mistakes or have carelessness, but instead, with a full heart, with great determination, he completed it with great enthusiasm. No matter how many obstacles there were, even if in the beginning that task seemed impossible, even under all circumstances, he definitely found one way or another to complete that task. This was the sparkle, the shine, the power of the mind, determination, and fulfillment of his promise. It's a lovely one. And lucky number 7, complete renunciation of the consciousness of I. Pittashri completely renounced the consciousness of I and claimed number 1. Many children also had renunciation, but let alone speaking about it, Baba never even had the feeling of having renounced anything. Baba used to say, instead of shells, I have received the sovereignty of heaven. And I think this is a very lovely one for the contemporary urban rich sort of comfortable lives we live, because we do end up donating per se a lot. We end up mind, body, wealth, we end up doing a lot, but then I also keep a little hook in my mind to say, oh, but I've done this much, oh, I've done this much, I've done that much. And that's something I need to check inside my heart. And I would say a lot of us do keep that, but then I think it was Baba's line that if you feel like you've renounced, then you haven't really renounced. Because it's not about talking to anyone else, it's not about telling anyone else, but even for myself, if I tell myself, oh, but I've done so much, I have done so much, and now I can take a break, or now I can let this go, or now I can, something my dharna, but I did that for so many years, now this little bit doesn't matter anymore, or this little, I can't do it anymore. If I had that sort of a burden or that vision, I've done so much, then I actually really haven't done anything. Either I was performing a certain way or doing a certain thing out of duty or compulsion or out of guilt or out of resentment or out of showing off or out of even pleasing God. I did it. Oh, I found God and Baba said, don't eat this, don't wear that. So I did it out of to show off to God, but I didn't really truly do it from the depths of my heart. So I have to check here if I even keep a little bit of hook that I did it, and now I feel it was a burden and I can't do it anymore. Check the reasons why I did it. And was it really, truly renunciation? And I truly understand what renunciation is? I often say in a class, if I was, someone was to walk in and give each person a little gold coin or a little diamond, who would not be happy here? Every single one must have go, wow, and we would praise that person. Look, I got a. All of us would do that because we still value Kalyugi wealth. We still value what Kalyug has to offer. And that's a very gross hypothetical question that I put across. But I then have to check what are the other Kalyugi things that I value. My body, for example. Of course, I need to take care of it. Of course I need to, but my vision of it is just to take care of my body. I can't eat this, I can't do that, I must do this, I must sleep here, I must wear this. Is it just my life is around my body? Is it my life is about the Kalyugi comforts? Have I lost the greater vision? How long is Kali going to last? What am I actually here for? Am I building wealth for my future, the true wealth for my real self, for my whole self, and not just for these 10, 20, 30, 40 years that I another have to live for this body, if that, I could die any moment, I know that. But what am I investing in? Am I investing in just, these few years? And, it's not about resigning onto your job. And I will say it worked. It worked for the original Jules. They left everything. They left their jobs. They left their house. It worked for them. They became the real people that ignited the fire to transform this world. Why can't it work for me? Okay, start off with that and then see what are the things that are holding me down. The aim is not to quit my job. The aim is what sort of renunciation do I need to have that Baba had and Baba inspired others to have. Not just by Baba's renunciation, I was able to inspire so many as well. Not by physically, okay, Baba gave up his, business. That's a physical renunciation. But here he had complete disinterest. If I'm getting God, if I'm getting the world, if I'm getting everything, I'm getting the truth, I'm getting the reality of what, the people, we still have curiosity. What does Paramdham look like? What is the real me? What births do? How does this cosmic work? We have all of this curiosity, and he put all his energy towards that. So something for me to get inspired by and check in my own life. Have I actually renounced, or have I just pretended, or I had other reasons to, do the physical renunciation without the actual renouncing of it? And it started off with the renunciation of I. What is this I? So Baba used to say, instead of shells, I have received the sovereignty of heaven. Baba used to keep his form so simple that no one would be able to know him as Prajapita Brahma. However, behind his simplicity was greatness. The shadow of the future world emperor was revealed. Any desire for respect or honor was miles away from him. Baba never kept anything for himself. Many times children would say, Baba, leave this broken down building and stay in the new building. Baba would reply, children, Shiv Baba has come in the old body and the old world, so Baba will stay in the old building. The new building is for the children. No one else could have such renunciation. Because of the renunciation of the consciousness of I. So what happens when we truly renounce? Truly renounce. Because of the renunciation of the consciousness of I, Baba was always carefree and unshakable. Number 8. Brahma Baba was the most elevated yogi. While speaking, Baba would disappear from the body. That is, he would become bodiless. It was as though Baba was hearing everything and yet was completely immune to it. Baba would never listen to any service news of expansion or give any expansive response when coming into sound. Baba would stay beyond sound, and with just a couple of elevated versions, he would make all of us fly beyond sound. In his final days, we only saw silence and dead silence in Baba's room. Baba would eat his food very slowly in a very yogic manner and would repeatedly remind us, child, whom are you feeding? And that's a practice I can at least do every day. Today, child, whom are you feeding? At the time of bathing, Baba would say, child, I am pouring this water on Shiva. In this way, Baba made yoga a means of entertainment in every action. Baba's every action was yogic. While writing letters, listening to children, or meeting children, Baba would always stay with Shiv Baba. Baba always used to talk to Shiv Baba on whomsoever. Please talk to Shiv Baba. It's so much fun. Baba, should I drink coffee or should I make tea? Baba, should I put milk in this? Baba, how many sugars should I put? Ask him, talk to him, make him your friend, make him your everything. Baba, should I do the dishes now or later? Baba, should I eat this today? Have a constant conversation with him, just like you would to your partner at home, your child at home, your maid, your servant. Talk to Baba like that, like he's very real. He's not some entity that I remember once in a while, or when I'm in a very spiritual state. Yes, do that too, of course. I need to be happy and light and yogic while I'm reading the Murli, but also in little nothings of my life. Baba, should I put a watch on today, this watch or that watch? Should I put this sweater on or that sweater? Ask him, talk to him. Why not? Should I do this? Should I do that? Is it time to drink water? Is it time to eat? Baba, should we go for a walk? Every single little thing, invite him into your life, make him your friend, as well as all the other conversations I have with Baba, all the serious stuff that I think God is worthy of. He's also worthy of little nothings as well. The sweet nothings that we call. Please practice that. It's a lot of fun. So Baba would say, Baba's every action was yogic. While writing letters, listening to the children, or meeting children, Baba would always stay with Shiv Baba. Baba always used to talk to Shiv Baba. On whomsoever Baba's drishti would fall, that one would become detached from the body. On coming in front of Baba, no one ever had the desire to say much. They would automatically receive a solution to all their problems. Number 9, constantly carefree and an unshakable stage. In 1956, Baba was suddenly taken ill with a physical illness. The doctors at Abu suggested that Baba should have an operation in Bombay. With serious faces filled with worry, they said that at such an age, very few such operations were successful. Hearing this from the doctor, some children's minds became emotional. However, there was no signs of any illness or pains on Baba's sparkling face. Baba was in his carefree and unshakable stage. Seeing the children's faces serious and filled with worry, Baba said sweetly, "Children, I am fine. Yes, I am completely fine. All of you know that this is an old body and old things definitely need patchwork, but nothing has really happened to Baba." So that complete separation and the reality check. This is an old body. No matter what I do, no matter what gold I feed it, what organics I feed it, and I follow exactly the yoga routine and exactly the diet that my doctor has prescribed with $1 million of research, it's still an old body. It's gonna get stuff done. It's something or the other is gonna happen to it. So the body is completely separate from I, the soul. Body needs patchwork. Body needs things happening. Of course, I'm not going to create extra karma. I'm not going to eat the wrong food, sleep at the wrong time, not exercise. That's being silly. Of course, I'm going to do the right things, but my investment is for me, for I, the soul, not the body to be perfect. I will get a perfect body very soon. This is not that body, but I still have to create that sanskar of looking after myself and, being able to take care of my body without being attached to it. So this is Baba's one of many examples when he got healed. And he says, "Children, this is an old body and old things definitely need patchwork, but nothing really," so a complete distinction, but nothing really happened to Baba. Children, don't worry. This stage of Baba's inspired the children in the subtle way. Even if the most difficult test of Maya comes through the body, then by remaining detached from the body in a soul conscious stage, and with the practice of staying in remembrance of God, you have to become so strong that it is not able to spoil your stage even lightly. And that's a wonderful one for us living in the end of this wonderful what we've done to the elements, how Tamapradhan we've made them. I think it was Dadis that used to say, I feel really sorry for the new children now because of how Tamopradhan the matter is. It's so Tamopradhan that their brains Because body is made of the five elements. The elements are tamopradhan. The body is made of tamopradhan. So their brains are, and the brain can only sort of brain. Yeah. So anyway, brain is an important part of living in the world, but even the elements are so tamopradhan. So the starting seed of the children now is so tamopradhan. But everything's according to drama. But Baba's example of being ill, body being ill, but him being so detached and observing and practicing that detachment, body is separate, I am separate, he does not automatically take that on. And again, if I may say, a lot of us observing, I can't say everyone, but a lot of BKs I've observed, because the body is ill, they think it's their right to be angry. They think it's their right to be demanding. They think it's their right to take on sadness. It's not. It's not. The body is going through that. It's not a punishment. Oh, some karma I did. It's not a punishment. Whatever the body is going through, let it go through that. We are very much in a Tamo Pradhan world. Kalyugi, water, air, even pure, whatever. Let it do what it needs to do. Let it go through its illness, its healing process. I have to do what I have to do, which is my study, my Murli, my practice. Number 10, always experiencing unlimited happiness that opens the forehead. We always saw Baba in a state of happiness that opens the forehead. Baba used to say, children, when a wedding is taking place in someone's home, they have bands playing drums and wedding music. Many times, Baba thinks that there should be drums of happiness playing here for 24 hours because souls are getting engaged and married. Who are we getting engaged and married to? To Amarnath God Shiva. Nothing can be of greater happiness than this. In this way, Baba was a physical powerhouse, a physical powerhouse of happiness and enthusiasm. He always had the enthusiasm to give God's message. The happiness of Shiv Baba's incarnation and meeting with him was so profound that there was a deep impact of that happiness in Baba's thoughts, words, and deeds, such that when even the most peaceless soul came close to Baba, he would experience unlimited happiness. Baba would say, child, your mercury of happiness should rise. And how should it rise? From the tip of your toes to the top of your head. That is, you should have happiness that opens your forehead. Have we ever experienced that much happiness? A super sensuous kind of a joy. And Baba always carried that with him. You have found Trikaldarshi, Trilokinath, the almighty authority, Shiv Baba himself, and he is making you worthy to have a right to the fortune of the kingdom of heaven for 2,800 years. So unlimited happiness that opens up the forehead. Number 11, it's a beautiful one, still like an ocean. In Karachi, when children used to go and sit by the seashore, Baba would say in sweet and loving words, children, you are seeing the waves of the ocean. Look how the waves of the oceans are coming up to you, children, and then going away. You are the children of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the ocean of knowledge. And so you have to pick up this virtue from the ocean so that if waves of Maya enter your mind, you have to make them go away. That's the law. No, I mean. So what are we learning from the ocean? A lot of us live in Bombay or have at least seen the ocean. Each wave that comes, Maya's coming and you have to make it go away. Then Baba would say, children, look how you may throw rubbish into the ocean, but it doesn't remain in the ocean. We've also seen that as well in the monsoons when the beach is filled with trash. The rubbish is thrown out by the waves of the ocean or to the shores. So you should have the same nature as the ocean. No rubbish should stay in the minds of you children. When a diver dives into the ocean, he brings back pearls and jewels from the ocean. You children have to churn the ocean of knowledge in the same way. Go into the depths of knowledge and you will find precious pearls, jewels, and diamonds. Look, on the surface, there may be many waves of the ocean, but it is completely still below. You also have to become still and patient. Seeing the saligrams on the seashore, Baba would say, look how this stone has been rubbed against the waves of the water and has become completely worship-worthy saligram. In the same way, if you tolerate all difficulties and move along in the waves of the ocean of knowledge, then one day you will become very clean and worship-worthy, that is very pure. So, learning lots from the ocean. Number 12. Simplicity and respectful behavior. Baba was a great example of simplicity. He used to live in a small room that was very old and had a tin roof. That room was his restroom, his dining room, his office, his meeting place, everything with the children. A white sheet covered his bed. The walls were painted white. There was no special decoration in his room, and it was very simple from outside too. Sitting in that room, Baba, the image of service gave new life to so many souls. So many sat there and experienced the happiness of meeting God and had the thought of surrendering themselves to God. And I think even little things like that, if I really want to become pure in my life, and especially if I want to become pure more like Brahma Baba did, I have to, even simple things like that. The world is so pompous nowadays. Everything's a bhabka. Everything is too much, too much. This little bit here and a vase there and an angel there and a candle there and a da-da-da. So many things. Not wrong with it, but my personal churning, I don't know if it's taking me closer to perfection or getting me more engaged in this world. And I'm following more I don't know. They say it's the need of the time, but if I want to be closer to Brahma Baba, I want to be perfect, more like Brahma Baba, I want to push myself a bit more. Simple things like that, that is really something I can also copy. And there is benefit. Nothing happened by accident. Nothing happened for no reason in Baba's life. Everything had a reason. So God didn't have any artificial decoration on himself or on his room. Baba would say, children, whoever has given even 1 paisa for this godly service, that 1 paisa is more valuable than 100,000 rupees. It is for purifying human souls and the service of giving them peace. I cannot spend that for my own comfort or happiness. That would be dishonest with the treasure entrusted to me. Baba never told anyone off individually, but always spoke to everyone with a gentle and sweet, pure feelings and respectful words. Because of his sweet words, his sweet drishti, his sweet interaction, sweet things of knowledge, and his sweet smile, his place of residence was named Madhuban and Tapovan, the land of tapasya. I might ask all of us, because I did discuss that there are 18 steps and it might take longer than a bit. We do have about 10 minutes left. So should we stop and if anyone wants to share something, or do we want to continue a few more steps?
I think Sister will check with.
So,
Anybody wants to share anything?
I mean, you're welcome to unmute yourself and add anything as we go along, but I'll continue. But please,
Sure,
if you feel like,
sure. Yeah.
okay. So number 13, always willing to give love, help, and protection. Although a human soul was different from all other human beings, he had fatherly love for everyone, just as a father becomes very happy when his children claim a good status. In the same way, Baba too would become happy. A worthy father always has the desire for all his children to always be worthy and remain happy. Baba always used to have such feelings for all human souls. All human souls. He would say some children also remain pure even after being married. That is, they are even ahead of the sannyasis. When some children did godly service very well, Baba would say, this children is seated on father's heart throne. He does even more service than Baba does. This child is even more clever than Baba is in explaining knowledge to children. Seeing souls make intense effort in this way or seeing them being successful in their lives, Baba would be very happy. He would write letters to children again and again to increase their happiness, zeal, and enthusiasm. He would guide them and protect them from the suffering of Maya. Baba gave cooperation and protection to each child. So I also follow father, wanting to be like father. What did Baba gave cooperation and protection to each child and forged their loving relationships to Shiv Baba. While fulfilling the responsibility of the Alokik father, he taught the children the lesson of being an Alokik, that is, a spiritual child. 14. He had the art. He had the art of making everyone worthy, giving everyone a blessing and making them worthy and engaging them in godly service was Brahma Baba's special art. It's an art. He made someone so versatile in construction that one became perfect and built Panda Bhavan and Yoga Bhavan, etc. He taught someone accounting skills. He blessed someone with the art of taking notes and others with writing skills. Someone who had not been educated in a particular subject at school or college was made more capable and experienced than the one who had studied and been educated in that subject. This was Baba's wonder. Today, those children are engaged in doing such unlimited service in an alokik way that seeing their special skills, people become amazed at how such an amazing unlimited task is being carried out without any sorrow, conflict, or fighting. His permanent smile, the sparkle of Shiv Baba's remembrance in his eyes, the sweetness and spirituality in his versions, and benefit for people at every step. His humility, even though he was so great, his fearlessness when faced with adverse situations, his carefree nature, his truth, his contentment, and his constantly flowing love, his unbroken love for God, and unshakable faith. Such was his multifaceted personality. 15. Powerful drishti that took you beyond the consciousness of the body. When you looked into Baba's eyes, you didn't have to make any effort to forget your body. It felt as though the soul had become bodiless and was going somewhere at the speed of light, far, far beyond the sky, into the world of light. This experience was just as subtle as it was deep and enlightening. It enabled the soul to stay in an avyakt stage even afterwards. How many of us have experienced that in Baba's rooms? All of us, otherwise we wouldn't be here, and more so in Panda Bhavan. Each Baba's rooms, of course, but more so in Panda Bhavan, Madhuban, that you would stay avyakt even afterwards. From this, you can clearly understand how impactful, powerful, and deep Baba's stage of yoga must have been, and how much he himself would have been in a stage of being beyond in a body in an avyakt stage. And that's for me as well. If I'm on a service stage, how happy and how avyakt I am, only that much I can emit. Of course, I am an instrument and Baba, let Baba take over beyond my stage. But I can't offer sweetness unless I have sweetness. I can't offer avyakt unless I've tasted it. Because why would I offer it to someone if I don't like it myself? Okay. Sweet 16. The unique blend of knowledge and love in Baba's life. Baba had great depth of knowledge, and this is why there was a unique sparkle of intoxication of knowledge in his life. This is why he always used to say, this knowledge is precious for those are imperishable jewels. The knowledge that he spoke of was filled with love. There was such a unique blend of knowledge and love in his life that it was impossible to speak of the two separately. And we understand that, don't we? Sometimes we we want to be nasty, we want to correct someone, we are not, and we use knowledge as a as a shield for me being, I'm saying the right thing, so I have the right to be angry. No. So Baba had a clear, he showed us clearly that knowledge and love have to go together. I cannot be giving knowledge. I cannot be correcting someone in a way if I'm being wrong myself. I cannot be telling them to be happy if I'm not, why aren't you being happy? If I'm agitated. The two just can't, they don't work. That's what Kalyug does. That's why Kalyug is so down low, body conscious. It doesn't work. The truth is love and knowledge are together, and Baba exemplified that. There was such a unique blend, and I love the way they worded it. There was such a unique blend of knowledge and love in his life that it was impossible to speak of the two separately. Some of those who came into contact with Baba would say that they experienced more love in their life, and others would say that Baba initially gave them some love and then would try to take them into the depths of knowledge. In fact, there was the perception of the observer, and both were right in their own way. In fact, Baba's words of knowledge were never spoken without love, and his loving words were always filled with knowledge. And the aim of both love and knowledge, because he had the aim very clear, the aim of both love and knowledge was to make all human souls pure and yogi. Number 17, a unique blend, a unique balance in life. Baba had every type of balance in his life. He would give full emphasis to becoming soul conscious, but at the same time, he never advocated being careless about physical health or looking after the body. Yes, he did say you mustn't waste your breath in speaking about your physical illness again and again, because the elements are tamopradhan today. Yes, on the path of ignorance, we have performed sinful actions, and so there will definitely be some disease and illness. So, if we focused our minds and intellects on that, we would not be able to make time to remember Shiv Baba. He used to say, children, work with both medicine and blessings, and while doing service, do not forget to have yoga. Otherwise, the sanskars of body consciousness will become firm. On this, he would say the body is very valuable, and so you have to keep it in a very good condition so that you are able to do godly service with it, and so that there are no obstacles in your yoga. Baba would ask us to have good food, and at the same time would advise us not to spend too much for sustaining our stomachs, to remain free from attractions. He would feed us totally with a lot of love and would take the children for picnics, but at the same time, he would divert our minds away from taking food and drink from the streets outside and would quieten our desires of our minds. Would quieten the desires of our minds. He was very firm in making us do service and performing actions tirelessly. However, at the same time, he would also draw our attention to the state of our minds and our personal efforts. He would also caution us about the damage that carelessness could cause. And lucky last, number 18, soul conscious vision and pure and positive thoughts for everyone. Out of all the virtues, Sakar Baba had one main virtue which always stood out in his personality. What would that be? one main virtue. Purity flowed out of him. He would continue to purify the atmosphere and would transform people's lives. It was his soul conscious vision that did this. While always being in a soul conscious stage, Baba would always look at each soul in all the bodies. In Baba's class, little children as well as old children would be present. There would be Brahmins as well as wealthy individuals who were present. But Baba would look at everyone with soul conscious vision. Baba never had any feelings of high or low or rich or low, but he always saw everyone with equal vision and gave everyone equal love and respect. Baba never had any bad or inauspicious thoughts for anyone. He always gave this teaching to everyone. Never think of bringing any harm to anyone or saying anything inauspicious through your lips. Baba had very pure and positive thoughts for everyone and had such an unlimited heart. Baba always said to the mothers and Kumaris who were prevented from coming onto the paths of knowledge by their family members, and to those who were unjustly and violently treated, children, continue to serve them with knowledge and yoga and make effort to benefit them. Children, do not have hatred for them. Always have pure thoughts for them. And that's a very wonderful check-in point in my life. And most of us don't go through these violent attacks and being forced to do anything, but there's always, because test papers are there to change me. So, according to the time, people were being beaten. So the Dadis practice pure vision and all of that. In my life, there's my boss, or there might be the elements, or there could be other things that I'm not very comfortable with. So Baba is teaching me, do not have hatred for them, always have pure thoughts for them. Having pure and positive thoughts for everyone, Baba would stay awake at night and renounce his sleep to purify them and make them yogyuk. He used to make plans for giving them God's instructions. Acha, to our very sweet, lovely Sakar Baba, who was a source of inspiration for us, to speak about his specialities is like showing a lamp to the sun. Placing our footsteps in his footsteps, we Brahmin children have to become examples for everyone. Acha. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Shanti. Yeah, that was very nice, sister. Thank you so much for reading a full 18 steps. Okay. So, with the interest of time, I think we can have a short meditation and close the session for today. Thank you,
If
sister.
anyone wants, I'll WhatsApp you the PDF. Anyone wants to have a fun with it. Okay, Om Shanti.
Yeah, I think that would be great if you can share it in the WhatsApp group. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Om Shanti, everyone. Just sing a little song. We go to Baba and then we'll close off. मेरे ब्रह्मा बाबा मधुबन के माली, तुम्हें याद करती ये बगिया तुम्हारी। मेरे ब्रह्मा बाबा मधुबन के माली, तुम्हें याद करती ये बगिया तुम्हारी। मेरे ब्रह्मा बाबा।
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Herman sister. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a blissful day.